That should be better. I don't know. So take 2. Last time I went live, it wasn't the right way round for some reason. So I'm hoping this is better. But what I was saying was, as you get logged in, give me a hashtag live if you're live. Give me a hashtag replay if you're watching on replay. But also just pop in the comments where you're logging in from today. And I appreciate that if you're logging in again for the second time, you might have already done this, but please do it again, because I no longer have access to that video, and I want to be able to see the comments, because it's really important information for me to know who's live, who's watching on replay, but also where you're located in the world, so that when I'm building the plan for my live events, I've got a good indication of where you're all living, so where would be the best possible place to do them, where it would be easy access for you all. So let me know that in the chat box, whether you're live, on replay, and where are you in the world, and be specific. Like if you're in the UK, let me know what town, so that I can think about where specifically we do these events. Hi Lorna, logging in from sunny Brummie. I hope the weather is still nice for you guys in England, because I know you've had a great summer. I've just come back from a Spanish lesson. So I came back from a Spanish lesson, jumped in the pool, had a swim, and then jumped on here with no makeup on or anything, so I excuse the way I look, but we're all friends. Yeah, I'm learning Spanish. I'm finding it so difficult. It's just not going in. It's one of those things that I really wish I'd have learned when I was a child, because I see the children learning and they just pick it up so quickly. And like our old brains don't pick up things quite as quick when it comes to languages, for sure. So hi Emma, hi everybody, thank you for popping in your location. It's really helpful when I'm building the plan for these live events, so I really appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to crack on, because we've already had some tech issues, and I'm sure you want to get going and get into the training. Hopefully you've got a pen and a paper, because I'm going to be covering quite a bit of ground with you. And I want to just give you a bit of a background on why I'm going to teach you what I'm teaching you tonight, because when I first started out in business, a bit of background for you, it took me a really, really long time to, and I hate the word crack the code, because it's really overused now, like everyone's cracked the code these days, but it really did take me a long time to piece together the exact things, the exact components that need to come together to make a real success of an online business. It was a really, really long process. Hi Rianne, hi Andrea. Oh, Rianne's in Chicago, you must be on holiday. It was a really long process. It was one that was really frustrating and confusing. And if you're somebody that's a business owner online that's not at the level of success that you want, or maybe you're a business owner that's just starting out with a seed of an idea, maybe you're somebody that wants to be a business owner but you're not sure where to start, you'll probably know what I mean when I say it's so overwhelmingly confusing, because there are so many messages out there. Hit some hearts if you can relate to this. This was my experience. I would literally get up in the morning and I'd think, right, I want to do some work. I want to smash it today. And then I'd think, what do I do? What have I got to do? And then all of a sudden that kind of motivation's gone, because you're not quite sure what you need to work on to make your business a success. And when you then go out there to look for the answers on what you should be working on, there are loads and loads and loads of different conflicting freaking pieces of information. Everybody seems to be an expert in something, and you're not quite sure which expert you need to help you, and one's saying one thing and the other's saying this thing, and someone's talking about email marketing, the other's talking about Instagram, the other's talking about Facebook ads, and all these different things, and you're just like, oh my god, like where do I even freaking start with this stuff? Give me some hearts if you can relate to that, and that has been your story up until this point, or you've at least experienced that at some point, because I don't think I'm on my own with that. Because I then noticed a pattern in other women that I was speaking to that have felt or were feeling exactly the same. And I worked with loads of different coaches. I enrolled in loads of different programs, all piecing together this jigsaw that honestly felt like it was never, ever, ever going to be complete. And that's what I do now, is I teach a step-by-step program. Do this in this order, in this time frame, and this is the success that you'll have. And that's what my signature program is about. But there's a step at the beginning, starting out in any business, that often gets missed, and it's the foundation to outrageous success. Now, outrageous success means different things for different people, and I totally get that. When I started out, my first goal in business was to just know that I didn't have to have a job. Because if you're an entrepreneur like me, and I know you all are on the call, You probably had the same experience where you never could really settle. You could never really settle in a job. Like, you'd bounce from one to another maybe, or even you might stay in a job but you never felt completely fulfilled. You had this kind of feeling that, oh, there's got to be more, and you get unsettled really easily, and that was me. And what I wanted from a business initially, my first goal was to just mean I didn't have to have a job, because I hated having a job. I hated having to work on somebody else's terms and make them rich. But that for me was only like $3-4 grand a month to replace my full-time wage. So, you know, that was my goal. That was the only thing I could think about. And when we talked about, you know, and I heard like 10K months, I was like, wow. Like, that seemed like an obscene amount of money to me at the time. And there's a part of me at the time, like there might be for you right now, that was like, can I do 10 grand in 1 month? Can I develop an income consistently of 10 grand a month? Like, that would really change my world. But, you know, success is built on establishing a series of new normals. It's not made in one big step. Anything is achievable when you break it down into small chunks. And the best way I can describe this to you is, have you ever seen the Harry Potter films? Type yes in the chat box if you've ever seen Harry Potter, because if you haven't, this might not make loads of sense to you. But if you've ever seen the Harry Potter movies, Harry Potter starts out, doesn't he, as this like little boy that doesn't even know that he's got powers. He doesn't know that he's a wizard, and he's scared of everything. Now, at that point in that first movie, Harry Potter could not have defeated Voldemort, the big baddie. He just couldn't have done it. He didn't have the skill, the experience, the confidence, didn't have any of the stuff that he needed to make that happen. So in movie 1, that would have been completely unrealistic. But then if you watch movie 2, 3, what you see is him growing and evolving. You know, he defeats a baddie, and then a bigger baddie, and then a bigger baddie. Me too, Leona, I love Harry Potter. But every film, he creates a new normal for himself. He reaches a new level of success as a wizard. And it's the same for us in business, because at the very end film, he defeats the biggest baddie of them all, Voldemort. He couldn't have done that in film 1 with the lack of experience and knowledge and everything that he had. But in a series of small steps, that's who he became. And that's what success is like for us as individuals. If you're sat there right now thinking 10K in a day, regular 10K days just seems ridiculous, don't zone out of it on that belief system, because honestly, if you think it's not possible for me, you won't come at it with a growth mindset. And what I'm going to tell you today isn't about you making it happen necessarily tomorrow. It's about you being able to take the right steps to create new normal, so that at some point in the very near future, that is absolutely possible for you, and some more than that. And that's what tonight's really about, because it didn't feel possible for me to earn 10 grand in a month a few years ago, let alone 10 grand in a day. But when I managed to make that a new normal and achieve 10 grand days on a regular basis and 6 figures in a month, and all of the crazy, amazing things that I've done in the last couple of years, and when I look back and to connect the dots, I think, actually, I can see now that every little step that was creating a new normal is what's led me to this point. It's not possible in one big jump, but everything's possible when we break it down into small steps. And tonight I want to talk to you about the foundation of success for a business of that size. Because if the foundations aren't right, then it doesn't stand the test of time, and it doesn't stand up. And a lot of people really get this wrong. You know, a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this in previous businesses, you might have been guilty of this before, or even right now, of kind of not thinking about the design of your life and business when you're creating the business strategy for success. Because it's not, you know, if you imagine it like building a house, if you were going to build a house and it was going to be your dream house and you're going to build it from scratch, you've got the land, what would be the first thing that you would do? The first thing you would do before you even lay the foundations is you would probably design that house. You would know exactly what it's going to look like before any work is carried out. You would never, or have you ever heard of, really, have you ever heard of anyone building a house and just getting a load of bricks and just starting to place them with no real vision in their mind of where they're going? Yet a lot of people will do that in business, and I'm not talking simple goal setting here. This isn't me preaching to you to set goals, because it's so much deeper than that. You can set goals by saying, I want to earn X amount and I want to live here and I want to, you can put a nice pretty dream board up. But is that really designing your success and designing your business and life? I would say no, because it needs to be done in a really, really particular way. And that's what the foundations for success are, and that's what I mean by that. And that's what I want to talk you through tonight. So let's dive in. I want to talk you through 3 steps that I use to put the right foundations into people's businesses when I'm working with them. And 3 steps that I've put into my own business to get the right foundations in place. So the first one is what I call the 3 Ps. And it's called the 3 Ps of projection. And this is my own like personal system that I use as a first point of call to creating anything. The 3 Ps of projection. And I'll talk you through what these 3 Ps are. The first P stands for personal. The second P stands for purpose. And the third P stands for profit. And when we're deciding what we want our business to look like, these are the 3 Ps that we should really be considering as a starting point. So let's talk personal first of all. This is where we're asking ourselves, what do I want personally for me? Nobody else is taken into consideration here other than you personally, because it's you that's going to build the business, it's you that's going to be on the ground doing the activity, and it's you that's got to live the life that's created because of the business. And what I mean by that is it's really, really easy to develop a business that doesn't give you the life that you want. And I don't believe for a minute that wealth is about having money in the bank. You can have £1 million in the bank, but if you're not happy and you don't have the time and fulfillment and lifestyle that you really want, is it really worth having that money? Because money, I love money. Who doesn't love money? If we've got a great relationship with it, then we love it. And I love it. I have so much love for money. But it's about what money can give you that is really, really important. But money doesn't give you what you want it to give you unless you have a plan for where it's going to go. And we should never be looking at profit goals before we've looked at the other stuff, which is personal and purpose. And that's why profits last in the 3 Ps of projection. Because what we want to know in the personal is, in crystal clear detail, what do you want your life to look like? And this is the vision. This is like the long-term vision. This isn't like in the next 6 months, 12 months. This is where we're going in the long term. Because there's no point in building a business plan that just looks at 6 months, 12 months, because we need to know where you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, because everything you do today is shaping where you end up in 5 to 10 years. It's telling you whether your business is scalable at the leverage you want, at the level you want it to be scaled to. You need to know all of this stuff starting out. So when it comes to the first P, personal, think about things like this and write this stuff down. And really give yourself this time to do these exercises that I'm going to share with you tonight, because it will really help with the clarity and direction in what you're going to be creating. So think about things like, how much time do I want to spend working every week? Realistically, my dream life, if I was to wave a magic wand and give you everything you've ever wanted, how many hours would you be working in your dream life every week? Where would you be working from? Like, what would your surroundings look like? Where would you be living? What does your home environment look like? Who would you be spending time with? What would you be doing in that downtime that you've now got? What hobbies would you partake in? What non-negotiables would you have for yourself? Like, I only fly first class might be a non-negotiable. I have some really crazy little non-negotiables that I stick to. Like, I only buy Calvin Klein underwear or Tommy Hilfiger underwear. I only wear UGG slippers. I'll only fly business. Like, I have these little things that are just non-negotiables for me, and they were built into my plan from word go so that I could factor them into the profit that I need to generate to live the life that I want. But also, what type of people do you want to work with? Who do you want to be surrounded by? All of these things are super, super relevant, and they only happen if they happen by design. Nothing happens by accident, so everything has to be designed. And when you started really thinking about this personal, if this doesn't flow really easily for you, there's a great exercise you can do that's called scripting. And it's basically where you script out your ideal day in your perfect ideal life. What would your ideal day look like from start to finish? And you literally script it like it's just happened, like you've just lived your perfect day in your dream life, and it's bedtime now, and you're just kind of journaling what happened that day. And you go really, really into detail on this. So, I woke up on the morning and I could feel the Egyptian cotton sheets in my warm, super king size waterbed, whatever it is for you. And as I hit the button for the remote control to lift my blinds, I've got 360-degree sea views. I'm talking you through my scripting exercise that I did at the beginning of this year here. And then what happened? And then what happened? And where were you having breakfast? And what did you drive the children to school in? And then what happened? Really think about that, because it helps you to get there. It helps you to visualise and see exactly what you want your world to be like in crystal clear clarity. If you see yourself working online, then it tells you that you want to run an online business. If you see yourself working by the beach, it tells you you want to be location independent. If you see yourself working on a one-to-one basis with clients and loving it, then you know you want to work on a one-to-one basis with people. If you see yourself trading in large groups, then that's an inclination of what you want to do. So it gives you so much insight into what's really important to you personally. And then when we know what that stuff looks like, then we move on to the second P, which is purpose. And purpose is so much bigger than all of the materialistic stuff that you would like. This is about your mission in the world. This is about who you're here to serve and why. It's about mission over money, and that's why purpose comes before profit. Now, here's what I believe. I believe everybody has a mission, and I believe it with certainty. I believe that everybody is put on this earth for a reason. You've got a special job to do. And I know you feel that. I know you do. I know you feel called for more than your current circumstances are right now. I know you feel called to do more, be more, have more, and help more. And I know that because you're here and you're in this group. I know that everybody listening to this right now, or at some point, has had that feeling of unsettlement inside of them, because you know that you've got a big mission. You know you're important. You know that only you can do what you're here to do. And there might be points where you don't believe that because you don't quite believe in you yet. There might be points where you think, me, what can I do? Who can I help? What have I got to offer? I promise you that every single one of you, regardless of what you believe right now, has something to offer someone else. And when we build a business driven by purpose and playing to our strengths, that's what makes all the difference. I'm not here to tell you tonight that you should be building a strategy based on improving your weaknesses. I think the opposite is true. Yes, we all have things to work on and improve on, but what I'm about is playing to your strengths, because you all have strengths. Every single one of you have unique abilities. You have strengths that I don't have. You have something that I will never have, and that's that you are you. And you're special and you're unique and you're brilliant. But what you need to work out is, what is this thing that I feel called to do? And there's some questions that you can ask yourself when working this out, like, what would you do for free? What would you do just because you absolutely love it? Is a great question to ask yourself, because that's a clue to your purpose. You know, when I decided to write my first book, that was quite a shock for me, that I was suddenly going to be an author. I suddenly had this imposter syndrome kick in that was like, you write a book? Who's going to want to buy that? You know, all these things that come up, they came up for me too. And I said to my mum, I'm writing a book. And I was expecting her to go, oh, really? And she was like, she wasn't shocked at all. She went, that's amazing. And I'm not surprised, because you always used to write stories when you were young. Like, you'd sit and write for hours. And you used to say when you were really little that you were going to write books when you were older. And she said you also used to sit, this is quite embarrassing, I can't believe I'm sharing this with you. You used to sit in the mirror. Apparently I used to sit in the mirror, and I don't remember this, but I'd sit in there was like mirrored wardrobes, and I'd sit in front of them and give talks, and I'd watch myself back giving talks, like critiquing myself as a speaker. And apparently I'd line up my dolls and my teddies in my bedroom and stand at the front of the room and give lectures and talks. She was like, so it doesn't surprise me at all that you're now like a coach and a trainer and a speaker and an author, because it was always there when you were a child. I was like, wow, isn't that fascinating? That as a child, with no agenda, with no financial gain, it was just what lit me up. It was just what I wanted to do for free. What did you want to do? What did you do as a child? If you can't remember, ask parents, ask people that might know, because they're all clues, massive clues to your purpose. It's the thing that you just feel the less resistance, the path of less resistance, the thing that you can imagine yourself doing and just, it makes your heart sing. It's that stuff. And there's always going to be the voice in your head, like there always has been for me, that says, but can you do it? And will it add value and all that stuff? But just move aside all of that ego judgment for a moment and go within and listen to the soul that's telling you what you're here to do, because it's always nudging, it's always guiding. You know when something feels right, you know when something doesn't feel right, you know when it's time to change something. All those answers are within you, and it's about really going within and asking these things about what they are. What is my purpose? What is my mission? What do I feel called to do? I'm going to go into this in a little bit more detail in a minute on my next point of the training, but we'll leave purpose to one side for a minute, and then we'll talk about profit. So that's the last P. And the reason it's last is because what's more important than profit is that you are personally happy and fulfilled, and that you're doing something in alignment with your purpose and the thing that is your mission in this world. And money's a byproduct of that, and you deserve to be abundant. It's your birthright to live an abundant life. You weren't born to struggle, pay the bills, live a mediocre life and then retire on an average pension. You were born for so much more. We all are. But I believe when we face struggle financially, when we face struggle internally, it's because we're probably not on the right path of alignment. But when your personal goals and your purpose goals are in place, then puts you in a much stronger position to say, right, okay, profit-wise, what is it that will give me all of these things? What will give me the house that I woke up in when I scripted? What will give me the free time to spend doing yoga all day and travel to all these amazing countries that came up when I did my personal goal exercise? But be really exact with it. Like when you think about money, think about it. Try not to come at this with scarcity and fear and limited thinking. Try to really take the ceiling off it and go, what really excites me? What coming in every month in terms of residual income? So when I always set profit goals, I set a few different ones. So residual income, so money that comes in every single month, whether I'm working or not. What do I want that figure to be? What figure do I want to be for profit per month, like cash injection per month? What do I want that figure to be? That's not residual but consistent. And what do I want my saving goal to be? Like how much do I want in the bank? How much do I actually just want sat there as a nest egg? And I call that my warrior line. So think about what you want your warrior line to be. It's the amount of money in the bank that you never ever dip below. And it's okay to have a really small warrior line to begin with. When I first started, my warrior line was £1,000. I wanted to get to a point where I just got £1,000 nest egg. That was my first goal. And it was a modest one, but it would give me a bit of breathing space to know that if the washing machine broke, I could afford to replace it. Or if the tyres blew on my car, it wasn't a major disaster. And that was my first warrior line. And then my second warrior line was 2,000, and then 5,000, 10,000, 50, 60, 100,000, a million. Because you just constantly move up your warrior line when you reset these goals, and I recommend you do these 3 Ps on a regular basis to keep them fresh. But also on profit, what do you want in assets? Because we should never just be thinking about cash. We want to be thinking about assets and income producing assets. So, how much money do you want coming in from income producing assets every month? And that's what we look at when we're talking personal goals. What you can see is the foundation for your success is beginning to emerge, because you're beginning to get really clear on what it is that success really looks like for you in every area of your life. The second thing, so I'm going to teach you 3 things tonight. The first thing was the 3 Ps of projection, which I've just been over. The second thing I want to teach you tonight is about one of the best things you can do to put the foundation to success into your business is really, really get to know yourself. This is about finding your unique brilliance. Because it's a little bit about what I was saying before when I said I'll come back to this. If you're sat there right now thinking, I want to set up a business but I don't know what to do, or I don't know what I can offer, you haven't gotten to know yourself well enough yet. You've not found your unique brilliance. If you're in a business right now that's not thriving and you're not attracting in ideal clients easily and effortlessly, chances are you haven't found your unique brilliance. If you're in a business right now that doesn't light you up, that becomes a chore every day, I can say with my hand on my heart, yes, I have bad days, but I can say with my hand on my heart that I get up every morning, I am fucking buzzing to get going. I literally bounce out of bed and I buzz all day, and none of it ever seems like a chore for me because I just love what I do. I'm so aligned with it. Do you feel like that? And this also comes back to your purpose and your unique brilliance. And here's what I believe about this. Every single one of you has a uniqueness, a brilliance that nobody else possesses. And that is true. There's only one you. There's only one me and there's only one you. And what I have, you don't have. And what you have, I don't have. We're all totally and utterly unique. Now, what makes us unique is a series of circumstances from the moment we're born up until this point in your life. Everything is relevant. And I would recommend brainstorming everything. You know, childhood experiences that have made you who you are today. Relationships that you've had that have made you who you are today. Struggles. You do have a unique buzz, Rosemary. You absolutely do. You just haven't found it yet, but I promise you, you do. So the struggles you faced, they're clues to your purpose. Because things don't happen to you. Things happen for you. Things happen so that you can get lessons from them, rise above them, become better because of them, and help somebody else who maybe isn't there yet. You know, finding your unique brilliance is about recognising where you are, who you are, what you've been through, and what you can offer somebody else. Your unique brilliance provides a solution to somebody else's problem. Fact, for certain. You can monetize who you are. That's all you need. In this day and age of social media and technology, it's never been more exciting to be alive. It's never been more exciting to be in business, because you can monetize just who you are. Because each one of you, you do things naturally that other people don't do. You think about things in a way that is unique to you. You get over challenges in the systems and that you've created internally to help you get over those challenges. You've had experience, skills, knowledge, life skills, all of these things that make you unique. And there is only one you. And everything that you have inside of you will and does provide a solution to somebody else's problem. A certain type of person with a certain type of problem. You might not see it. And this is the thing with this, is that a lot of people don't see this stuff for themselves, because it's like you have almost a block on seeing it because it's you and it's just too obvious for you to see. It's that whole can't see the woods for the trees. And I help people break free of this all the time, and it's amazing when it happens, because it's like living with a child. Like if any of you have got children, you probably don't see them grow, but other people do. Other people will see them after a week and go, Jesus, you've grown. Because it's you're seeing, you know, you are you. You're living with yourself every day, so these things aren't obvious to you. And normally they're the things that you don't think are valuable at all, because you do them so easily and effortlessly. That's the valuable stuff. Even the stuff that you've been told you're too much of. And this is where I talk about embracing your too muchness. Even write that stuff down, because that's all a clue as well. I was always told, that I'm too sensitive. I was always told that I'm too sensitive and that boring. I've been told a lot that I'm like boring, because I'm not like an overly extroverted, sociable person. You might think when I show up on the camera that I've not got an issue being extrovert in terms of getting on camera and talking, but it's because I love this, so it doesn't drain me. But I'm an introvert by nature, and you can be a confident introvert, but I am an introvert. And if I go to events, where there's lots of people in a room, or I'm in a social environment where people are talking to me and there's lots of people, I very quickly become drained by that. It's like it zaps my energy. And because I'm a natural empath, I pick up on other people's energies really, really easily. So if somebody around me is feeling particularly negative, I'll absorb it like a sponge, and it can mess with my own vibration. So if I've been around lots of energies and there's lots of different influences, I find it really draining. So after that, I'll have to take myself off, read a book, have a bath, be on my own, not want to talk to anyone for a while. And I've been criticised for that in the past as being something that I'm too much of. But actually, I was too much of that for the job I was in before I was running this business, because I used to run a business in nightclubs. Can you imagine? It couldn't be a worse fit, could there really? I actually ran a nightclub business, being a natural empath and an introvert and not liking being around loads of people. Jesus, what was I thinking? But this is the thing. I could have thought, I'm just a failure at everything because I can't get on with this nightclub business that I've set up. but actually it just wasn't the right fit for me. It's like if you're really naturally outspoken, maybe even a bit confrontational, straight shooter, that might not be well matched to the corporate world, because you might get into conflict there by speaking your mind too much, where you're in an environment where it's not good to speak your mind and be, outward. But that doesn't mean that that part of you is wrong. It means that that part of you just isn't suited to that environment, and that's a clue to what you should be doing. And that's why you're feeling resistance over here, because it's really not where you can use that too muchness as a tool and as your brilliance, because it is brilliant. Every part of you is brilliant, and every part can be channeled into something incredible. Now, I use that empath, that sensitive part of me, that part that picks up on energies, to be a terrific coach. Because when I'm coaching someone, I instinctively pick up on what they're feeling, what their issues are. I don't like the word like psychic and stuff like that. I wouldn't say I'm naturally gifted or anything like that, but I'm definitely intuitive. So I would pick up on that energy, and I'd be able to guide people as a coach and know what they need and when they need it to get the best possible result. And that serves me in the right environment. And that was a clue to me becoming a coach. So what are your clues? Think about that. What are you too much of? What have people told you you're too much of? What have you struggled with in other environments in the past that might have even knocked your confidence? But actually, it wasn't about you. It was just about the environment not being a fit. And all these things that have been happening to you have been pushing you to do something else. See, all these things are massive, massive clues. And we want to really look and dig in at the foundation stage to building your business at what these things are, because the things that you do effortlessly, the things that you think, oh, nobody will get value from that, everybody will know that, they'll be the golden nuggets. They'll be the things that people will have huge light bulb moments from, because you assume that everybody thinks the same way as you. You assume that everybody deals with things in the same way as you. But you have a success about you that can be modelled and turned into a system of success for people that don't have what you have. So there's quite a lot to think about in terms of getting to know yourself and finding your unique brilliance. But the question you want to be asking yourself, maybe brainstorm it, all the things, all the struggles you've been through and that you've got through, and the lessons you learned through them, and all these different things, and then look at it from a bird's eye point of view, almost like you're not talking about you, because you don't want to get all in your head and go, but I could never do that. Look at it like you were coaching someone else. Try and take the emotion out of it. Just look down at it and go, hold on, there's a pattern here. I'm really good at this. I'm good at that. I've been through that. I've got experience in that. And then ask yourself, how could all of this experience and all these things that I am naturally help someone else? How could they provide a solution to somebody else's problem? Because every business model just needs to provide a solution to someone's problem. That's it. Third step is working out who that person is. Who is this person that could get value from who I am and what I do naturally? What type of person? And this is where you want to be really specific, because the more niche you are in the online world, the more successful you'll be. You don't want to try and appeal to everybody, because you'll end up appealing to nobody. You want to drill in really specifically and say, who is this person? Who is it exactly that would benefit from the way I do that, the things I learned there? And you almost want to build like an avatar now of this person. Understand them. What sex are they? What age group maybe are they? Where are they living in the world? And you're using your 3 Ps for this as well, because if you've recognised that you want to build an online business, they might be anywhere in the world, but you might also recognise that I only speak English, so they need to be an English speaking anywhere in the world. And you might recognise that actually all of these things that I feel called to teach are all about me going through the menopause, for example. So I want to help premenopausal women deal with life through the menopause, which means it's this age group, or I want to help this with this. So you drill in really, really specifically. You might look at it all and go, actually, my biggest struggles and challenges and learning curves came from trying to run that network marketing business around being a busy mum. So I understand what it's like to be in network marketing and being a mum. I understand what it's like to feel like a failure in that and feel guilty. And I want to help mums in business. Whatever comes out of it, you just want to be really specific, and then look at that avatar client and say, okay, let's say it is a mum in business. Let's say I am someone that was in network marketing, for example, and I'm transitioning now into helping this woman with this problem. What is it? Let's really understand her world now. Let's step into her shoes and say, right, what is she going through? How's she feeling? What's going through her mind? How is this problem that she's having? What problems is she having that I can help her provide a solution with? And how are these problems impacting her life? In every area, intimate detail. Like I was working with a body image coach who's amazing the other night, and we were talking about this stuff, and we were going through her ideal client, and she helps women to love the skin that they're in without feeling the need to diet and criticise themselves. And we were looking at her avatar of, you know, who's this woman that doesn't love the skin that she's in? And how does her not loving herself when she looks in the mirror show up? And we looked at everything. How does it affect her work and her confidence levels in her career and progression in her career? How does it affect her sex life? How does it affect her relationship? How does it affect her ability to pass on these good beliefs about body image to her children? How does it affect her being a mother? So you're literally looking at everything. We want to know this person better than they know themselves, what they're worrying about at 3 o'clock in the morning, because then everything you do from that moment is done with them and their problem in mind. And then you can also look at who they want to become. What does their world look like without this problem? Think about that. What does this person's world look like, life look like? How do they think, feel, act when this problem is no longer a problem for them? Because this is like your second avatar. You've got the avatar with the problem, the person you're going to help, and then who they want to become. And this bit in the middle is you and all of the things that you've brainstormed that you know how to help with. It's that bit in the middle. All your content's created from that middle bit. This becomes your system for success. And that's just a little bit of an insight into some of the things I teach in step 1 of my program, which is around setting the foundations for success and knowing with certainty that your niche, that you know who your ideal client is, you know exactly how to help them, and you know that you've got a business plan and strategy that's going to help you achieve what you want in the process of helping this person. And it's just a snapshot because the foundation stage of my program is chunky, like it's a good few weeks worth of digging in and delving in and getting an exact recipe for success for you, but hopefully it's going to give you some insight into things that you can work on right away. Because one of the things that comes up a lot out of this group, especially when I do my take 5 and talk on a Tuesday, where people can comment and ask me a question on a Tuesday, the thing that comes up over and over again for a lot of people is not having motivation and not understanding why. Like, I know what I've got to do, but why am I not doing it? And that's a clue that it's probably not the right fit right now and something's not aligning. Or it's, I want to do something, but how do I know what to do or where to start? And I noticed that coming up over and over again as a pattern. So I really wanted to help just give some insights into that for you in this group. So I hope that's been really helpful. And I'm going to be here every week from now on, same time every Thursday, and constantly helping and supporting you guys in any way that I possibly can so that you can make 10K days your new normal too. Lots of love.